Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy Bryan from Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm a doctor of pharmacy and a certified diabetic educator, as well as formulator and biochemist. So I was introduced to LifeVantage by a surfer, if you can believe that. And I have to tell you that what probably caught my attention was the fact that he wanted me to take a look at a study. And that study was at a university. And that impressed me. I have to tell you, I was kind of curious about it. So I started taking a look at the product. I loved that it was actually evidence-based science and that was something that I could relate to. And I felt comfortable after taking a look at that science that it was probably something that would be something that he would really not have any problem taking. So I had him go ahead and order, and in my own little space, unknown to him, I went ahead and became a customer too. And so that started my biohacking journey. And then I started thinking about others. I started thinking about people that may really benefit from some of the things that this product line could do. And then I started thinking about, oh my goodness, you know what? This is really a big part of my journey. That this is going to be somewhere that I want to go with my profession. And that's when I became a true biohacker. And that's when I became a distributor. And so I share that story with you because I want you to know and understand that this is about educating people and telling people and letting them decide, because you just never know when it's going to be something that they may be looking for, and they may not even know themselves until they start hearing a little bit more about the information. But truly for me, that was the part of it that brought me to LifeVantage, and being able to share my passion of helping others was a big part of that. Today, I'm super excited to say that I'm now on our science advisory board, and I truly do have the chance to really make a difference for people, and that part I'm really passionate about. Let's move forward. My goal today is that first and foremost, I'm most honored, I'm really honored to be able to be here, to be able to be part of the second science virtual training. Hopefully that this is going to be something that will be a benefit to all of you, to be able to take a really complicated amount of information and make it super simple, ridiculously simple, so that you can understand it, and in doing so be able to share it with other people. That ultimately is the goal for these trainings, is that we want you to not get caught up in the heavy science, but to just understand where to go for the information and to help other people find that information. So let's get started. First of all, for those of you that happened to be in Long Beach last week, we had something super exciting happen. We introduced something new. We introduced the Protandem NAD Synergizer. So what is this NAD thing? Well, first of all, I don't want you to get caught up in the science of this, but you do need to know what it is. It's actually the NAD, and it's not NAD. We want to make sure that people understand clearly it's NAD Synergizer. And what it stands for is it's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Now you know why we call it NAD. It is an essential molecule that is used in many biological processes. Most importantly, it has to do with the breakdown of our foods and making energy. Another thing that you want to make sure that you're aware of is that NAD exists in two forms. It's going to be NAD plus and NADH. And there's a ratio between those two things. And it's really important that you know that there's a ratio, but we don't need to get into the heavy science of why that is. And most importantly, I want you to know and understand that we're talking about an increase in NAD has been shown to activate key enzymes. And those key enzymes, one of which is an increase in class of a certain protein called sirtuins. And these are a lot of words I'm kind of throwing at you, but the important thing to remember is that like the other Synergizer products, we activate. And so we're going to talk a little bit today about NAD and its activation story and how it fits into the family. So first of all, what is in NAD? It has basically 4 plant-based ingredients. And again, we don't want to go into a heavy science, but wasabi is part of it. Some of you are real fans of wasabi and may know what that is. It is a ribosome plant, and basically it's like a cruciferous vegetable, like broccoli, except that it has some really special parts to it. It has a lot more of something called isothiocyanates, and those are really important. One of the things that they really do is they are a potent activator of things like our genetic and metabolic processes. So that's really cool. Another ingredient that we have is something called theocrine, and I just refer to that as Chinese coffee. It's a really long name for it, so we won't go into that. But what you need to know are two important things about this ingredient, because sometimes people worry about caffeine. The thing I love most about it is the fact that it's going to give the physical and mental performance like you see with coffee, but it's not overstimulation, so that people will not see irritability. And that's really important. The other thing is that it doesn't show the habit-forming effects of caffeine, and that's important too. Another part that I get super excited about is our olive leaf extract. That is truly something that's setting our product apart. And if you heard the list of things that that can do, you all know about olive oil. Olive oil, everyone talks about how it has so many health benefits. But some of the things you need to know that our olive leaf extract is going to be helping to provide in this activator are going to be things like helping to promote healthy lipid profiles, helping to support gene expression that's proper, helping to support autophagy. Yes, I know, that's another one of those weird words. And I'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. But the bottom line is the oleoeuropia, or olive leaf, adds a huge impact to this product. And last but not least, we have something called cuprous niacin. And basically what we're doing is we have copper in there. And many people do not know and understand that we have elements that our body requires as cofactors for a lot of equations in our body. Those of you that know me, I talk a lot about balancing equations in the body. And what copper does is help to do that. And today, a lot of people are deficient in that. So it's nice that that's going to be part of this. And it has a lot to do with those pathways being activated. And then, of course, niacin is an important precursor for NAD synthesis. So that's helping us to activate to make our own NAD. So why Protandem NAD? When we look at what we have here, we have a group of 3 products now. This is the extension of our Protandem family. And what's unique is that these are all pathways that have the ability to help our cells to be balanced. That's what this is all about. We want homeostasis or metabolic balance in our cell. So we have the NRF2 synergizer, and what that does is that helps us with our antioxidants. That helps take out the trash in our cells. It helps with the free radicals that our mitochondria are producing when they're utilizing that food and making energy. And then we have the NRF1, and that's going to be very helpful in terms of our bodies having healthy mitochondria. That's really, really important because that's the energy powerhouse of our cell. And so we're going to have healthy production of mitochondria and repair of that mitochondria with the NRF1 pathway. So how the NAD fits in is another pathway. It's the NAD molecule, and what that does is it helps with a group of proteins that are called sirtuins. And I know these are crazy words, so you just have to maybe repeat them once or twice, but pretty soon everybody will know how to say sirtuins. So what are we talking about? What are sirtuins? Sirtuins basically are the guardians of our genomes. They're the protectors, and they're really important in vital roles of health and in aging. And they are a super class of proteins that have remarkable abilities. We have the ability in our bodies to maintain this balance that I was talking about. So we have a cell, and we have all these things going on, and there's all kinds of things going back and forth and back and forth. And the sirtuins are really, really responsible for making that balance happen. So one of the things that we have to talk about is like our NRF2 pathway slowing down as we start to age, we have the same problem with sirtuins. In fact, as we age, we can lose somewhere around 60% of that activity. What we want to take a look at is, how is it that the body can maintain what we have? How is it that we can start creating something to help sirtuin to be back to its normal levels? And one of the things occurring today in today's world, a lot of people are looking to caloric restrictions. And when they do caloric restrictions, what they see is it actually returns sirtuin activity by about 94%. So a lot of times when people are doing caloric restrictive type diets or just that kind of basis of how they're putting foods into their body, what they're seeing is their energy levels kind of come back. And I guess the best way that I can describe it is that our cells are this factory that are making energy. And what sirtuins are the fuel to that mitochondria that's the factory. So they make the energy, but they have to have the fuel that's going to help make the mitochondria help make the energy. And we want to get back to that. So the thing that has made me super excited is that not everybody on the planet can do caloric restrictions. I don't want to do caloric restrictions. That does not sound like fun at all to me. But I want to be able to maintain healthy energy levels, right? So that's where the Protandim NAD Synergizer comes in. By using this, we see sirtuin activity go back to being increased by 100%. And that's in a 24-hour period. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm super excited about that. And you know what? That comes pretty close. In fact, it exceeds what happens with caloric restriction. So I'm pretty excited about thinking I don't have to cut back and only eat a raw carrot a day or whatever it is that they do on caloric restrictions. And I'll be able to start having healthy levels of energy through this synergizer. So what we're talking about here is the expansion, and this is a nutrigenomic breakthrough where we actually see an increase in sirtuin activity by 100%. And you know what? What I like to tell people is like, okay, that happened, but what are the benefits? Because you know what? All of these things, you know what? People aren't going to understand pathways. What they really want to know is, what's it going to do for me? That's the important thing here. So some of the benefits that they might be looking for is that it can improve mental focus and concentration. One of the things I've experienced myself that I've been super excited about is that it supports positive mood and, importantly, motivation. Who doesn't need more motivation? We got a whole planet full of people that need more motivation. So to me, that was super exciting. When you have more energy, you just feel like getting out there and doing things, right? It boosts mental and physical energy. You're going to get out there and actually start moving around again. And that's the whole idea here, to maintain our health, is that we want to be able to have in the proper intake of foods and have the proper physical activity to have that cell balance. It also supports body's healthy inflammation response. And we also maintain cholesterol levels already in a healthy range. Well, that's where we want to keep things. We want to be in a healthy range. And then it also supports healthy vascular systems. So those are really big pluses for people today. And not only are you going to get that lift and feeling the physical energy, but it's also going to be protecting a lot of our body. So now, what is it made of? Remember we talked about the cuprous niacin? Remember we talked about the wasabi and the olive leaf extract and the theocrine? Well, all those things together are in 2 capsules daily. That's how you're going to take this. Just 2 capsules daily. Isn't that amazing? And you're going to take that along with your Vitality Stack. One thing I do want to caution you is when you take a look at our label, here's what it says. Do not take within 6 hours of bedtime. That should tell you right there, this is an energy activator. So you don't want to take it later in the day or evening. So we just had the launch of this product. When the product comes out, the price on this is going to be around $55.99, but wait for it. We have a special introductory offer. So until Christmas, it's going to be offered at $49.99 for the bottle, for this bottle right here. But more importantly, what I want to talk to you about is the fact that we put together this packet of 3 products. We have the Protandem NRF2 Synergizer, the Protandem NRF1 Synergizer, and now the NAD Synergizer. Together, this is now making our Tri-Synergizer. And I'm super excited about that. That's going to be at subscription price at $125.99. We're starting with the Protandem NRF2 Synergizer. That's going to be the oxidative stress theory of aging, where we're taking care of free radicals that are being produced mostly by our mitochondria and by a lot of other things that are going on that we take into our bodies. It's created so that we can help our detoxification through antioxidant that we are creating ourselves and activating. So next we have our NRF1 Synergizer. And what that is the mitochondrial theory of aging. Basically, we want to create and activate the NRF1 because that's the pathway responsible for mitochondrial health, delivering nutrients that are known to support mitochondria. And then third, we have the NAD Synergizer, and that kind of pulls everything together because that's the sirtuin theory of aging. And what that means is we are creating and activating NAD-dependent pathways. That's how we make those sirtuins, those guardians. And that's going to activate the sirtuins, and that's going to help with healthy longevity. So ultimately, for me, we have something called the ultimate stack. Now, maybe that might not be where everyone wants to start, but it's a great place to be if that's what you want to have as your ultimate cell health. Because what we're doing is we're taking the Tri-Synergizer and we're adding to it the pre and probiotic. That's going to be very beneficial to making sure the things that separate all the outside stuff from the inside stuff is our digestive tract. And so that's going to make sure we're optimizing our digestive tract and being prepared to take these products in. The next thing that we have on top of that is our omegas, and we all know how important the omegas are. And so when you take all those things into consideration, we have a subscription for all of those, which is the optimum for that maintaining cell balance. Keeping the cell balanced is the key, really, to optimum health. And by doing that, this ultimate stack is going to be available for $237.99. I know there'll be people that think that that's a lot, and I guess it is. But if you've ever taken a look at all the other things that you spend money on, things that you can't believe how much they add up to, you might find that this is a really good way for you to be optimizing your health. And so in the end, what we're talking about here is the NAD Synergizer being able to flip the switch. By us flipping that switch, by having the factory operating at its optimum, we're going to feel better and we're going to be able to do a whole lot more.